Let's talk about stages and what you have to learn each on the stage. When you're on stage 1 to 5 employees, it's all about you. It's really all about you. The other one's one person with 1,000 helpers, right? And you don't have the time, resource, anything to really train your team. And you're going to train them on the systems and process that you develop to be able to delegate. Stage 1, there's no learning for anyone else that is not the owner. And stage 2 starts to be something like that, a little bit more work on the job or training on the job, but really it's all about the leader. At that moment, the leader is 90% of everything that happens, and that's whoever it's worth to grow. The problem is that they don't know what they don't know. If you tell them, hey, you have to learn, and they say, okay, great. What do I need to learn? I have no idea what's next. So there, what they need is a community of peers that allows them to see what's next. And now they can understand what they don't know. So you can really start learning on that. Once you cross to stage 3, now you have to change your hat from being you, the leader, and tell them what to do, to the coach. And now it's all about growing your team. So learning and development start really for the team after team member number 20, let's say. That's when you at least start thinking and having a lot of problems with your team, a lot of drama. And that's when it's okay, great. What do I need to do to remove that drama? And that's when you go to learning and development. Learning and development start there. What's a right way of doing learning and development? If I just said, hey, here's this book or this course, 10 hours, just go and take it. The probability of them taking it is very low, and the probability of them liking it and implementing something is null. What you have to do is be able to help them understand why the course is good for them. You have to send them in the future and say, hey, in the future, the company is going to be doing 2 or 3 times more revenue. I'm expecting to have this job position. This is your growth to the next level. Here's what you have to learn to be that. Do you want to be that person? And like, yes, I want that job and I want that salary. You have to get them excited on the future. And then you say, okay, great. For you to be there, you have to become better on this and this. You have to learn this and this. The probability of them using the learning and having a return is much, much higher. If you don't do personalized learning and development, not going to happen. But it's really important, if you really want to have return on investment on learning and development, that you don't do it about today. You do it about the future, and people understand where they see themselves in the future and who they have to become as an individual to be able to command that position, that salary, or that responsibility. Like Jack Daly tells me, priorities have to be negotiated one by one. Learning and development has to be dictated or agreed one by one. There's no one size fits all. If you're going to roll out hey, we're all going to run using scaling up. Let's go all take scaling up course. Easy, right? Every manager, but that's a way you run meetings and KPIs and the things. If you have something like that, yes, everyone's the same. But really, you have to help people understand where they are today and where they want to be, for them to be able to become that leader that they want to become, or that salary or whatever. And then they're going to be excited about the learning, and that you have to do one-on-one. As an example, I have 5 video editors in my company, right? Everyone said, hey, I want to grow. And I was like, yeah, but you're a video editor. Like, you probably you're going to be the leader of the department, but you're not going to be the CFO. You're not going to whatever. You're a technical person in that position. So I went with each and said, where do you want to go in editing? Well, I want to go into imaging, and I want to go into animations, and I want to go into this. So we're paying them some learning to help them grow to that. And they're becoming experts in their field. So if you have a team of 40 programmers, if your website is running Python or whatever, you're going to have a set standard of language, but then you're going to have certain things that they're going to be experts on. And you're going to have to say, okay, you want to be the expert on, let's say, AI. Let me pay you a course on AI and do a project on AI and just develop them in AI. But they still need to have the base of Python to be able to run, let's say, the day-to-day system. You have to first give them vision of where the company is going. Today, I expect the company to be like this in the future, and I expect the company to need these positions in the future. Do you want to be one of those? And by the way, I've seen people saying, hey, you know what? I see myself here 2 more years. In 2 years, I'm whatever. And it's fine. It's not bad. But if you're trying to teach them something, they don't want to learn. There's a saying that sounds really ugly, and please don't quote me on this. It said, don't try to teach a pig to sing. You will annoy the pig and you will lose your time. If they don't want to learn because they're going to be gone in 2 years, don't try to make it. I've seen people telling me 2 years before and said, hey, in 2 years, this is going to happen in my life and I'm going to be out. Let's plan the transition so I could leave you the person trained or whatever. And we do it right. I've seen a lot of people telling me in advance, a year in advance or 2 years in advance, that say, hey, I don't plan to be here in 2 years or whatever. One day, interestingly, I had a team member that came to me and said, hey, I want to be an entrepreneur and I want to work for you 3 or 4 years because I want to learn about entrepreneurship and blah, blah. And it was perfect. So she came and worked for me some years. And then 2 years after, she said, there's one thing I have clear. I don't want to be an entrepreneur. Now I understand the stomach you need to have to be an entrepreneur and all the issues. I don't want to do that. But I'm liking this. So in a year from now, I think I'm going to go and work for this company. Perfect. And I even help her go there. If we're doing it in an educated manner and we have a conversation about it, it's normal. Like you have friends that at one time you're very engaged and have a lot of time with them, and then you don't. Part of life. The first concern in learning, it's always, what if I train them and they leave? If I'm going to invest all this money and time in growing a team member, now they're going to be great and they're going to leave. And I was like, yes, that could happen. And by the way, it's going to happen. Probably 2 out of 10 or 3 out of 10 are going to leave. But what's the alternative? That you do not train them and they will stay. What's worse for you? So I tell them, hey, being an entrepreneur or a leader of a company, it's a privilege. And part of this privilege is helping you grow your community. I see it as a way to give back to my community, to grow 3 or 4 people that I know they're going to leave, but they're going to be better leaders and they're going to grow other companies in my community. We'll end up going to do great. So that's my best conversation with someone that is worried that if they train their team members, they're going to leave. It's much worse that you don't train them and they will stay. It's way more expensive for the company and way more drama for the company.